Good evening. Today's Rapper Magazine, What's the Haps? Today's Rapper Magazine, What's the Haps? I'm sitting right now with BiZzY BalBoa.
What's good?
Hey.
Hey.
Can you definitely give me an introduction in respect to your name and what does it mean? As well as, if you are a San Diego native, how does it feel?
Well, my name, BiZzY BalBoa, like you said. Busy, that kind of always followed me. Everybody always said I was a busybody. And I guess that name kind of fits me because I kind of always stay busy. I try to live up to that name. The Balboa part came from my best friend that passed away last year. Rest in peace, Poonie. He gave me that Balboa part, and I kind of just rolled with it. And I like to explain it as the punchline part of me, like, quick to hit you with one. Okay. So the Balboa part, BiZzY BalBoa, I'm the punchline queen. So that's how we got here.
Definitely. So why hip hop? Why hip hop?
Why hip hop?
Yeah.
Oh, and in the answer to the second question, I'm not a San Diego native, but I've been in San Diego almost 5 years now.
Okay.
And I got much respect for everybody in San Diego.
So was it business?
Business and personal.
Okay.
Business and personal. So hip hop, I just I feel like I was born for this. Since a little girl, my mom would catch me in like the closet with headphones on, sitting in the dark, just on some weirdo stuff. And as long as I was okay, she would close it back and let me be weird and leave me in my zone and leave me in my element. So, I mean, I always loved music. I would get two stereos for Christmas, one from my mom, one from my dad. Like, they knew nothing else could get me. They just knew that I liked music. So, the music just always was in me.
Always, like since a young?
Since a youngin'. I even got music lover tatted on my wrist. That's how it is.
Oh yeah, that's an exclusive.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, if you can actually give a telltale about how it is for you in respects to the music industry, how are you taking it? There's those who take it independently. Mm-hmm. Like me, I actually started in '94, independent label, making sure that's how we came in respects to wanting our own master everything. Then there's those who actually go delve off into. So what is your take on the industry part and how you're pursuing it in respects to the music industry?
I mean, I have a big respect to the labels and everything like that because a lot of the greats, they came from the labels and they work with a lot of the people that's still in the industry. So it's a big respect to them because at the end of the day, whenever you're trying to work on a big project, you want to have a label behind you. You want to have that push. As far as me, like, I like the independent route. I really do. I like having fun and being the overseer of my music and my craft. We do have like a little independent label that we created as kids that we still represent. It's ACAB&T, A Crew About Business Entertainment. And it's like 8 of us on the little label or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I say little only because,
because you just started.
It's just started. It's been a couple of years since we've been doing music. About 3 of us are still doing music heavy, and we still onto it, and we like to push each other. It's all about entertainment and having fun.
So entertainment's still alive.
Yeah. Entertainment's still alive because I like to do more than music. I like to do videography work, all kind of work. So yeah.
Nice. So what are your other skills outside of rapping? Because we just heard a definite, I know if you're in tune in, then definitely make sure you capture that live performance.
Oh yeah.
What's that song about? Because I heard the lyrics and I'm definitely captivated by it. So if you can just, I mean, the talent is there and like what you said, creativity, but it's part reality.
Yes. Some of the other talents I have my podcast that I do on Thursdays where I just kind of
shout out.
Podcast Get to Know Me podcast on Thursdays on the Anchor app. Download the Anchor app. You can also listen to me on Apple Music, Google Play Music, all of that, all of the podcast apps,
all the streaming,
all of that. We on there, and I mostly use it just to it's kind of like a selfish little thing. I like to highlight myself and talk about myself on there. I have had a lot of other artists on there. I've even had a lot of financial advisors on there. Different things for my people that we don't really get from other podcasts and radio stations and stuff like that. So
original
content.
Unique.
Yeah.
Different.
Yes, and I also got my clothing line.
Oh yeah.
Live Full Then Die Empty. LLC.
So live for what?
Live full, then die empty.
Okay, boom.
Basically promotes positivity, love, peace, I started this about 3 years ago. Just started doodling on shirts on paper.
So back to, you said 5, so 3 that since being in San Diego.
Yeah. Since being in San Diego,
things started aligning.
Whenever I pretty much had a relationship that I got out of, and I started, just doodling and brainstorming, and I was like, these would be fire on some t-shirts. And I started to put it on t-shirts, and it started to sell, and I've been doing it ever since. So live full and die empty. You can go on my website, www.lftde.life.
.life.
Shop with
I
me.
like that.
Yes, sir.
So some of the projects that you worked on, if you can give a tell of that, since the 5 years have, in respects to your work and what they can find online, go into that and where you were at then and where you're at now.
Okay.
Projects. So
well, like the song that we were talking about that I opened up with the performance on, Violence in the Domestic, that's one of my singles out.
Repeat that. You can't go too
in the domestic.
Okay, boom. So that's a little switcheroo.
Yeah, I like to switch up names. I like for a lot of my song titles to be weird. I got another track out called Captain Pipe.
That kind of hook you, huh?
Yeah, and I also have Nasty Mommy. That's out.
Nasty Mommy?
Yeah, Nasty Mommy. So we got 3 singles out right now. They're on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. You can find me BiZzY BalBoa. Just type in BiZzY BalBoa. And all my singles are up there right now. I have a lot of music that's on SoundCloud and YouTube as well. But as far as Apple Music, I just got my 3 singles on there right now. So
yeah, you're taking your time.
Taking my time putting the major content on the platforms. I also have something that I'm going to drop in May, another single called Grandma's Prayers. So stay tuned.
Whoa, hold on.
That one's going to be deep.
Is what?
Grandma's Prayers. That one's going to be super deep. It's going to be bone chilling.
What made you... What came behind that? That's
a
curveball right now.
I like to make songs that really like hit the soul. I got a lot of stuff that I went through in my life and things like that. Growing up in the South, in the South. We cherish
what part?
Our
Because Lafayette, I'm talking Mississippi. That's where my grandma.
Oh man.
Okay, yeah. All right.
I'm from Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm deep South. Shout out to the 229. Love y'all. Boom. But yeah, we grew up with, our grandmothers, that's like Big Mom. So anything that she say, do, she's like the most wise person, So her prayers mean a lot. When you think about your grandmother praying for you, you feel like, oh, that's all I need, and everything's going to be fine. So I had to make that song because, growing up, we live crazy lives and stuff, and we never really think about, is somebody at home really worried about us, you know what I mean? Like really worried, and we just living, we just kicking back, we just smoking, partying, and there's somebody at the house,
getting, whatever, like
somebody at the house going crazy, just like, God, please, make it home tonight. And I like to talk about that person, how's that person feeling? What are we doing to that person? Like, all that person they're enduring. So that's what the song is about. And it's going to be deep, man. I can't wait to release it. It's going to be hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely you hit my realm because, my grandma was a major part and influence, like I said, Mississippi, then Chicago. Yeah. And then Dago, San Diego, Southeast, actually Spring Valley since 1984. Ooh. So... Oh, yeah, I've been around. Yeah, you may not know, and they may not, but because I've been, definitely just keeping it kosher. Yeah. But that hits home, and I'm definitely going to be interested in that. And I'm always looking for creativity in the art, and that's where it hits home. Yeah. Everything in the millions or billions actually was for those who were able to turn that pike, and we got away from it somehow. And you can't, out of respect, it's what it is. Right. But I just definitely do these shows, the TV, the magazines, or what I do to actually engulf in those who are original in thought and still look to push those particular attributes. So I appreciate that, man. I like to go deep, man. A lot of my music, some of it is fun. You can kick back, you can have a good time, and then some of it have you really thinking about some life stuff, like, man, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I just like to switch it up. Nice. And, I'm just going to go because we had that particular night. Shout out to the, Up All Night Thursdays. Yeah. Young Wealth. J.A. Young Wealth. Yeah, definitely Go Ham Radio for that night because we had an interview. Shout out to the Talk of the Town 11 that's coming up, as well as the execution of X-Rated. Definitely had Brian Rice here, Big Grizz. And from that particular interview, we went down there to support the artist, especially because you may not know, we didn't just pick her up. We actually know her and actually had an acquaintance, and it just felt good to actually know that you were actually a part of that scene.
Yeah.
So if you could just delve off into that, what it actually meant, that particular night, then you go backwards. But that night, so what was that night? Have you already done a couple of performances, or was that night one of your breakouts where you just was like, I'm out and this is something I want to get involved with?
That night was my breakout in California and San Diego, period. So it meant a big deal. It was a big night for me, for sure. And I waited like 2 months to get on that show, so it was definitely a big deal. My biggest thing was I was nervous about people coming and supporting me, being that I'm not from here. And because I know I've been around San Diego, I know how people are. They rep their city. Like San Diego people, they rep Dago. You know what I'm saying? So I know that they gonna have their people up in there. So I was, I'm like, man, who gonna come for me? But people showed, and it's love, and it was a good time, man. It was great energy. The artists were amazing. Every performance was blazing. I'm talking about energy was crazy. I like the way that everything's put together. It's a different structure out here in Dago, compared to the South. But the night meant a lot to me, man. Like, even seeing you there, like I said, like you mentioned. We met years ago whenever I first kind of got out here. And, like, when I met you, you were already telling me about the magazine and everything. We took a picture. And I remember thinking, like, I want to tell him more about me. I want to, express myself more. But I felt like I wasn't really ready because at the time, like, no one knew I was homeless out here. I was, like, living in my car.
Shout out.
I was crazy. I was struggling.
On 10 toes.
Yeah, on 10 toes. But, I'm at work and I'm smiling and I'm shaking hands, you know what I'm saying? And I meet you and I'm like, damn, and I'm keeping it in. And then here we go full circle years later. I'm sitting at the table with you, you know what I'm saying?
Look, the table.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But what God has for you, man, it's always gonna be for you. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through my journey and find my way and prove to God and to myself that I could, sustain and take whatever He had for me. And I maintained, and I'm still here. And now all of the blessings are raining down on me, and it's great. It's great. It's really amazing. So, shout out to God.
One time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's crazy how everything reconnected, full circle.
So how do you handle that in respects to that, those personal dealings with the business? How do you balance that? How does BiZzY, because I get it, even BiZzY seems like it helps me understand what I'm saying.
Right. Really, what you got to do with that, you got to take that pain and you got to learn how to use that as, ammunition or fuel, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to really take that and run with it. Because a lot of times whenever I was in that car, you got to have a plan. You can't just sit in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm homeless or whatever, but what's my plan from here? And how am I going to get out of the car? I would write music. I was, working hard, doing everything I could, but I would use my experiences and put that in the music. Yeah, and it make the music better because it's true and it feels good to let it out. And
so, what would you call it? And that's, I don't mean to cut you off. So that's what I was going to get into the next. Your genre. What would you consider it? What are your particular type of music?
It's crazy to explain because, like, I feel like a young little, a lot of people would try to compare themselves to like an artist like Tupac or something. But I feel like for him to be able to go from a Dear Mama to a Hail Mary, like, that's crazy. And I see myself doing that all the time. Like, I can write, a violence in the domestic and a nasty mommy. You know what I mean? I can go from here to there, and all of them are good, and it's all great content.
The music, remember, Earth is your turf, music is your turf, like kind of like the hip hop is your turf. Like,
I really feel like that. I feel like it's like a play field. Like, even with the young dude that made the Old Town Road, and everybody like he's making a country song. And he's a little black boy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you don't have that in you to play with your sound, to play with your music, then you're really missing out. Because it's fun to try.
I thought that's why I got into it. Yeah, I got into it because of that. That's the actual truth. I got into it because of that. Yeah. Yeah, that people try to bombard you with all this, the heavy weight or the structure, but no, the creativity, like what you said, even being homeless, even being locked up, even going against it, even having those who actually have been sacrificing, those have passed away within this this year. There's so many that have passed away
Right.
personally this year,
Yeah.
as well as globally.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out John Singleton and his fam, because I grew up off of Boys in the Hood. All of the 90 babies, like come on now.
A top movie.
Nipsey Hussle was just
rest
like
in peace, man.
our black. Why is it that when any black folk die, it hits home like for some reason, because that's the impact. Look at the impact that the person actually had as an individual.
Yeah.
And I started to say that it seems like we don't understand it or respect it till the person actually passes. But nah, it was respected then. That's why we went and we flooded and we actually emulated, and everybody emulated those particular peoples and individuals, and still till today.
Still to today.
Tupac,
a lot of the little sayings are. It's exactly what it is. Like a lot of times, like how somebody will say, "Well, never say never," but why not? If I really mean something, how come I can never say never? You know what I mean? If I really mean that. Same thing with this. Like a lot of people will say, "Well, we don't mourn people until they die." Well, who says so? You know what I mean? We don't show people love until they die. Who said that? Because we showing love. We show love. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just something that people always say with nothing to really hold weight to it. You know what I mean? Because it's just something that we've always said, and we just keep saying and we keep saying it. But people are definitely getting love on this earth while they're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're getting love on this earth while they're here. But for some reason, we like to shine negative on stuff. Like, oh, y'all ain't like him when he was here. So what? If they didn't listen to him while he was here, so what? You know what I mean? They're listening now.
Because not even that, you, me, we were listening.
Right.
We created entities, even if it was our small little footsteps. It was something. It may not be as big.
People just like to highlight the negative. I don't know why, but it's a lot of love for a lot of people out here on this earth, and it's out there. It's in your face. And I hate when people feel like they don't have that love, because it's out there. It's in your face. Somebody loves you, baby. You know what I mean?
And remember, that's what we listen to. That's what the old school. So somebody
loves you, baby.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Somebody does, and we need to spread that more instead of making people feel like, oh, they ain't gonna listen to you till you're dead. Like, why we gotta spread that? Why we gotta make people feel like that? Somebody listening. I don't care if I get 3 likes. Somebody listen. There we go. That's the ear. Yeah. If I get 30 after I pass, I'm still happy.
That one ear could be.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
That one ear could be controlling 1,000 mouths.
Come on. All it takes is that one.
All it takes is the one.
Really.
So I want to take this time out right now to acknowledge Malcolm Morgan Mutaki. This is the latest going on with my brother Malcolm. If you remember, for the last few years, M-Tray, free M-Tray is what I've been having. And we definitely delved off in an experience together and a journey together. And this brother then came out and he got a rap along that's actually happening on Amazon. You definitely can get a copy from me. I got physical copies, and he gonna have the CD actually available in T-. So just tap in, and it's just the title is "I Never Shouldn't Have Joined a Gang," and it's a twist to the plot. It's a plot to the twist, and you just definitely want to check it out. So we got those on deck, and that's why I want to just take this time out to just acknowledge him and his homecoming, as well as just getting back to the work. So, with that being said, our black folks, in respect to San Diego.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you consider the hip-hop scene? You've been out here 5 years, aside from what you just did at Up All Night, Thursdays. How do you feel the hip-hop scene is out here? And if you could give advice or something to help the scene, what would it be?
I love the hip hop scene out here. I feel like it's well structured.
Okay.
I've never seen nothing like it. It's almost like a club. You know what I mean? It's like a members only. Like, you know what I mean? I do like that, because I felt like it took me some time to actually get in the door, because nobody knew who I was. It's like, everybody kind of sat back like, who are you? You know what I mean? Because in this area, I feel like everybody, like I said, territorial. San Diego don't play. They don't play about their people. They don't play about their city. So it's territorial. But my engineer Cognac, I feel like working with him, it kind of got a lot of people familiar with my name, and just kind of floating around, making sure I'm shaking hands and showing respect, because it's all about love. If it was anybody going to any other city, they probably would do the same. Like, who are you? You trying to what you trying to do? You know, what are your intentions? But I feel like everybody definitely, their energy and the way that they're playing the field, they're working together and they're supporting each other. That's the way to do it. You know, in the South, it's easy to perform. They got all kind of little venues where you can just perform anywhere, but a lot of it is just, you know, it's just open mic, and some of it doesn't really lead to anything. I was about to say,
the open mic, and that's just for that moment.
It's just for that moment, you know. It doesn't.
You do a video shoot, or
it's just you and your friends. You know, they do have, you know, and not to take anything away, they do have a lot of different things. Like P Brown and a lot of those people down there in Atlanta, they have a lot of things that they do for artists, record pools. So and stuff funny like because. That.
Now she's touching into the base where I feel what we did, and now was different in Today's Rapper magazine when we ran the club. We showcased every single Thursday for potentiality to be in the magazine. That's what it was for, the magazine. And every single month, we actually would produce and have a release party for that magazine and for the magazine. So I believe we got our respect from what you actually are talking about right now, because you don't want to come out and you got to pay for gas. I actually know artists, and shout out to all those taking the bus, taking the Uber, getting dropped off just to actually attend and be a part of the event. So I believe that's what was the fortitude, is just knowing that it was going to a great entity that actually is looking to not exploit, but kind of like export.
For sure. I mean, it's all about, like, if we really want an area to be highlighted, we have to come together, because nobody can do it on their own. So I see that happening in San Diego, because you got Go Ham Radio, you got, you know, Today's Rapper magazine, and all these different people in one building. Like, that's amazing. Because a lot of times, you know, people don't want to work with other people. They don't want, you know, to blend, or, you know, they don't want to coexist within each other. But to see everybody working together, I'm like, man, we may be onto something in San Diego. Like, this is major.
Well, you sound like you actually grew up here. I hear you, but that's why I said the native thing. But the way you've actually adapted, you know what I'm saying? Not adopted.
Adapted.
Let me say that right.
Adapted.
In respects to where it's at right now, you wouldn't know how hard it was to get it to this point.
I mean, for sure, I've been watching, you know, even before I kind of started recording out here, before I started meeting people, I just watched. I've been watching you for sure for years on Facebook. I'm like, you know, I add
once I met you, once that day, once it kicked off, started like,
I'm like, I see who you see, you know, I'm friends with some of the people you're friends with, and I'm like, okay, so he is definitely a big name. I need to keep in touch with him. So all these years, I just been adding everybody that I can add, following everybody I can follow,
getting your arsenal,
and watching them, and seeing who is who, and you know who runs everything, you know. And now that I'm seeing the names and meeting people and matching the faces and stuff, I'm like, okay,
step out.
Now I'm ready to step out, and I'm ready to, you know, see if they accept me for me, you know, for my music. So it's good. The love has been crazy.
That's what I say.
The love has been amazing.
If they feature you, and that's why I say it, for them to feature you, and that's why, once again, and that's why I like it. I always tend to them, and I share in respects to the you know, J Welp and Go Ham Radio, because they're like, I call them ground tillers.
Right.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
And in respects to that,
it's a blessing to have platforms like y'all, like Go Ham Radio, like Today's Rapper, because a lot of people don't create this type of stuff. You guys don't have to even do this at all, but you're helping the artists get some type of exposure. So this is crazy. You know what I mean? This is big. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for the
and Dominic Ford gave an H Code salute out low.
Oh yeah, H Code, man, I love it.
You know.
Well, that's what it is, and in respects to that, and in addition to that, I want to take time. You know, we just had that Battle League, CRS. Shout out to Sherry. Definitely. Shout out to Big June.
Yeah.
Those two I've been working with for a few years as well. So it's so funny you said the names, but these two, and we awarded Sherry. For the mother of hip hop, because back to Dago is a country.
Yes.
See, it's so funny. People say Dago's so small, but no.
It's crazy.
It's a country in and of its own for some reason. Its own hierarchy, and that's the part that doesn't contribute to LA and all those other. Because once you get to LA, it's linked all the way from that point to New York.
Right.
San Diego's the only thing off the grid. Remember, people still respect that.
Right.
So why wouldn't I come with an H code to actually adapt and adopt to what people actually do here? And since being here since '84, you know I had to tell.
Oh yeah, you have.
But just a shout out to Cartier.
That's my guy.
This is my today's rapper front page magazine share of the week. And, you know, definitely he showed up. He wasn't, you know, to the cameras and everything, but for him to show up to the event, definitely that just, you know, meant a lot for what you're basically saying.
That's my guy. I actually ate Thanksgiving with his family.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And it's just, Dago is really like that.
It's love out here.
It's love out here. It's love. And if
randomly
you don't know what to do with it.
Same way I met you, man.
If you don't know what to do with it, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But those who do, we show and tell. That's what it is. Yeah, we show and tell. So I appreciate you being here for the night. That song, though.
And J.A. Young Love Captain.
Yeah. And if you're online, shout out to Jay Young.
So like I said, Young Wealth.
Yeah. Jay Young Wealth, man, my dude.
Yeah, and I had him here. He was telling me, look, he came here and he was telling me straight out, like, this is what I'm finna do. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. Look, seriously, I'm about to do. So I'm telling you, even that night, that's how I even seen you. He had a show, and I was like, I gotta get there. Like, definitely, I had my little, and I was like, I still gotta get there.
Yeah.
And definitely, I made sure I don't know, I respect that type of individuality in humanity.
Oh
you know? And that's what I thought. That's incredible. What made it what it was.
Yeah, the show that he created is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, man.
He came here. He was sitting here. He was telling me, he was like, "Look, I just been out here," but he felt the same fire. But what you expect for those in a position is to actually do something with it.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
That's what you got to. It's bigger than just talking about it. You got to be about it.
Go Ham Radio teaming up with that. That was a #1 moniker out there. That was a #1. You know.
Y'all got to check them out. That's hard. That show is every last Thursday at Till 2 Club. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. I'm going to be there to support the artist on the next one.
Oh, yeah. They're on the scene. It's definitely a telltale. They're going to have to build a bigger. They're going to have to build a balcony.
I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. It's getting crazy.
And that's what it is. It's not hard to spread love. It's not hard to spread unity. And in respects to the city, that's what I look to have. In respects to interviewing any of the artists out here, it's just to see their originality and to show forth and to help others that are still in that mode break out. Like, come on, like, get up out of that. Like that.
You got to break out, man. And that's what my intentions are, to just, you know, adapt, keep adapting, and just bring my new sound to San Diego and see where it fits. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it fits, obviously. That's what I was saying. And it's so funny, like what you said. I already been dealing with you already years. Like I said, years.
Just low key.
And low key, because like what you said, you've been in the cut, but they wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. Everybody
wouldn't have known. They just probably would have thought I went to the show and just grabbed you off of but no, there's a
story behind
and that's how I run. I actually do. That's why it's called, like, I really do wait. I'm patient in those who. And watching and showing up to events like that. So shout out once again to the event.
Right.
And definitely that's what it allows me to see and graze and bring you back here for these type of situations. So remember, it can't be one without the other.
Exactly.
Like,
that's proof. That's proof.
Yeah, it proved it. I wouldn't have seen you that night. Definitely after I had my event. Usually after one event, you don't go to another.
Right.
But yeah, we did. We ventured out and yeah. Shout out to everybody that was performing there. All the performance was live.
Yeah,
once again, they always throw live, like I said, show. Shout out to, once again, Go Ham Radio. Like, once again, they just tuning in on everything and on everybody that's actually happening in Dago. So what does today's rapper mean to you? What is today's rapper?
Today's rapper means to me.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, as far as it's a platform to expose yourself, because the exposure piece is on yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you guys providing it. If you don't take advantage of that, then it's a waste, because a lot of people don't even have anything like that to get them anything, like nowhere near this type of exposure. And you have to take every opportunity that's presented in front of you, whether you feel like it's big or small. So to me, today's rapper, it means an opportunity.
Nice. And that's good. That's great. So if you can advise any young and up-and-coming artist on the music industry and how to approach it, just imagine, like what you said, homeless or those who are telling you're never going to make it, just all the pitfalls, all the down talk, the negativity.
My biggest thing is whether you have to find something to believe in, whether you believe in God or yourself. You have to have something that you believe in. Like, If it's yourself, you will go hard for yourself because you believe in yourself. If it's God, you'll go hard for yourself because you believe in God. But you need to believe in something. If you don't believe in anything, then you're not. I mean, nothing matters. You know what I mean?
So
nothing
why
matters.
try?
Why even try? I wouldn't have made it in that car all those months if I didn't believe in anything. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have made it out here in Dago. You know, with no family. I've been out here 5 years. I have no one out here, so I wouldn't have been able to do any of this.
They got those complaining. They got family all around them.
Yeah, I hear it every day.
They got family all around them.
I hear it every day.
They don't even know.
Like, yo, your mom, your aunt, everybody's here.
Right here.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I'm out here with everybody 2,000 miles away from me, man. It's like, so it definitely humbles you whenever I kind of just put myself in this position to humble myself because I felt like I had it easy. You know, back home I would get into trouble, run back to my mama's house. She gonna take me in. I'm her baby. You know, she gonna take me right back in. So I put myself in a dangerous position so that I could humble myself and grow. And nice. It worked.
Shout out. Today's Rapper Magazine with BiZzY BalBoa,
yeah,
San Diego, rap scene.
Crazy.
What's the haps? Definitely, if you want to get shout out, this is the time to do that. You had a very exquisite, very exclusive interview happening. I appreciate you. I know you had another interview happening, but I just look to be a part of it. We ain't trying to be nothing but what we are.
We're happy right here. I mean, shout out to today's Rapper Magazine. What's the haps? H Code. Thank y'all for having me. Shout out to ACAB&T 229-619. Shout out to Cognac, my producers, Super Scott, everybody that's been sending me beats, DJ V12, and Menace Mo, everybody. Man, my mother, my brothers, shout out to the whole gang, my father. I appreciate everybody for the love. Everybody that came to the show, Jay Young Wells for having me.
Once again,
man, Go Ham Radio for the interview. All the love in Dago that I've been getting, all the artists that's been reaching out to me. I mean, that's what it's about, man. BiZzY BalBoa. I'm just out here trying to spread that love, baby.
Nice. And we appreciate that.
And Jeremy tapped in. Jeremy Sanchez.
Oh, yeah.
Who that?
Jeremy Sanchez.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jeremy Sanchez. Man, thank you for the interview earlier. We had some technical difficulties, but I'll be back on tomorrow, y'all. So if y'all were on there trying to listen, we're going to be back on tomorrow.
Okay, so that sounds good to me. And definitely, that's all it meant. We all working together anyway. And that's what it means to work together. Ain't nobody really trying to be higher. And if you know us, you know me. You actually ran into the club. You actually ran into my club. You ran into me and my wife at my club. You've actually dealt with me in many clubs. You've dealt with me in many situations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not worried about none of that. And I just want to take this time to just shout out Roosevelt, the brother that actually had me and actually put me in the Blacks That Impact. And, you know, this is for 2019, 2020. And just coming from the humble beginnings. You just come from the humble beginnings, and this is me right here. And shout out to all the blacks that actually impact, because that's what it's about. You out here in, whether it's San Diego, Africa, Egypt, the Mahalayas, it just doesn't matter. You actually out there trying to do the best that you can from the beginnings and making them what you can for the ending. And the ending is, once again, seeing you.
Right.
It started off with our meeting, and it was on business, or it was on what it was, how we greeted. But now it came back to you.
Full circle. Not
pressing it, not pushing it, but allowing it to be. But like what you said, keeping in contact and actually networking with the same people. And just because they're having an event, show up to their event. Just because they have an event on your night, if you have time, and not to say for those who don't, because things do get busy and you do work, and most people out here have multiple jobs, school, all that. I know about all that, night school, all that. But if you can show up, to show up really does make a difference. That's how I met up with a good friend that I haven't seen in, like, come on now, years.
Man.
Started off, H Code, been following, and it came back for the night.
So
y'all definitely, you have a great evening and tune in. So the next issue, so stay tuned for BiZzY BalBoa on the next, today's Rapper front page news. And definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Thanks.